Hello YouTube, and welcome to my channel. If you've seen some of my stuff before, welcome back. Today we have the Barricade skid plate for the front. This is for the 07 to 2018 JK. This is going to replace the little plastic air dam piece. I've still got mine on the back porch, so that tells you anything. Now, these are the instructions that it comes with. They're really trying to get it in the frame. As you can see, they're really minimal. Now, it says that it will work with your factory or aftermarket bumper. So, presuming that you can replace your factory air dam, that little plastic piece on the front, with this and retain the factory bumper if that's the way you want to go. But I have the Barricade Trail Force HD front bumper, winch bumper, so it should go on without any issues. I'm going to apologize ahead of time for bad lighting. It's about 7 o'clock in the afternoon. It's in fall, so it starts getting dark earlier and earlier around here. So we are going to turn the camera off, and we will shimmy up under the Jeep and see about getting this fitted up. Oh, and I almost forgot to mention, it does come with a little baggie of hardware, just nuts and bolts and such, to attach this on with. So it does come with all hardware that you should need for it. So now we'll go under the Jeep. Okay, so according to the directions, the first thing you want to do is loosen up your 4 studs or bolts on each side of your frame horn that hold your front bumper on. Now, you've got 4 on this side, and then when you come over here, you have 4 on this side. So we're going to go ahead and take our wrench or socket set, and we're going to get those took loose. So see if I can find it in the light. Looks to be that would be an 18 millimeter is what I'm needing. Like I said, this is the Barricade Trail Force HD front bumper, so 18 millimeter for that. So we'll get these knocked loose and we'll be right back. Okay, and we're back, and just a quick warning, always be careful when working on things, especially when you're by yourself, especially if you're working above your head with something heavy and awkward. I kind of dropped the skid plate on me, hit my glasses, and kind of cut myself a little bit. But just a word of caution. So here's where we're at with it, folks. Flip my screen back so I can see. So you're going to have to take all 4 bolts for your bumper off. Now, I didn't want to unwire everything and completely take it off, so what I've done is took all 4 bolts out, and then what I've done is basically took one. I started on the driver's side and just very carefully I eased it forward and out till I could sandwich the skid plate between the bumper and your outermost bottom bolt, slid it through, put it back on, and then I put just hand tight 1 nut just to kind of ensure that this bumper that weighs more than the skid plate don't fall off of my head as well. So we've got that there, so that kind of will locate our skid plate to our cross member. So now we can go through and start putting in all the additional hardware. Once we get all the hardware in, now, like I always say in the install video, just do everything hand tight until you get all your bolts in. It makes lining things up so much easier. Once you get everything in, then you can go through, tighten them, torque them down if you feel like you want to. I know I had the bumper torqued to I think 80 foot-pounds. When I put everything back together, I'll try to figure out a way of getting the torque wrench down on them to get them all torqued back down nice and tight. Be careful not to over torque because you don't want to break bolts. But you will have to take all your bolts and studs out to and at least pull your bumper out far enough to get your skid plate in between the frame horn and the front face of the bumper. So we'll start putting the rest of our hardware in, and we'll be back to show you what we've done with all that and how that went for us. Okay folks, so I'm going to try to demonstrate to you the difference here. It comes with two different size, trying to not throw too bad of a shadow, probably hard to tell in the video, but it comes with two different size bolts. Now what I've found is that the larger size will not go, well, I'm going to have to, sorry about the lighting. The larger size will not go through the tabs that mount to the cross member. The big one does not go, but the small one does go. So what you want to do is take your smaller diameter bolt, put a washer on it, insert it through the mounting tab on your new skid plate, and then on the inside of the cross member take another washer on it, and then take the lock nut and get it threaded on like so. So it should go lock nut, washer, cross member, mounting tab, washer, bolt head. So we'll get this one put on, and then we'll probably go ahead and get the bolts put back in the bumper, and I'll take you under the Jeep to show you what I can in this. I mean, I'm a nighttime person. This is honestly the reality of my life, is that I see more darkness than sunshine. So we'll get this put on and probably go ahead and reinstall all of our bolts, and then we'll take you under, and then we'll do a final tightening to make sure everything's good and snug, and then we will do a wrap up. So we'll talk to you in just a little bit. Okay, and we're back. Now I went ahead and finished up the install due to time getting away from me. It's about 9 o'clock now, so this took about 2 hours with stopping because I was a big dumb and injured myself. But we will go ahead and crawl up under here a little bit and show you. You can see that it more or less wraps around that bar so it's no longer exposed, and it would bring everything down to roughly the level that it should protect your steering components, at least with stock ride height at the moment, which is one of the primary things. But also I was wanting to keep that from taking a big hit if possible. Well, this camera's not wanting to focus, probably due to the low light. But if you have something along the lines of either electric or pneumatic wrenches, I found that was really good for buzzing in the two that go into the cross member. The ones up, your bumper bolts, I ended up just having to do those by hand. I think I ended up using like a 17, 18, 19 millimeter sockets and wrenches. So it can't all be done with just basic hand tools. It does take a little time, especially if you're by yourself. Like I said, I've worked on this for about 2 hours, but probably 20 minutes of that was stopping the bleeding on my forehead. But so tomorrow if things go as planned, we're heading out to a local off-road park, and we'll see how much of a difference that actually makes on it. I personally really am happy with it. It just gives it a finished look with offering a little more protection. Now I will say that I would have liked if it bolted to the cross member maybe in 4 spots instead of 2 to add a little rigidity. But I mean, 4 bolts is, it's fairly thick. It bolts with decent sized bolts to a solid location, so I say it would take a good beating. But if you notice that your front bumper is leaned back at the top, you might want to look into making or cutting some spacers or putting washers in, because move the tripod and give you a view of that if we can. But you can see right here where it sandwiches to the outside bottom bolt, you do end up having a little space. If that's a concern of yours, you might want to go ahead, measure, and make spacers so that way it moves your whole bumper out by the thickness of your skid. So, personally, I don't see where that's a problem for me. I just went ahead and tightened them down. I did watch an install video, not install video, but if you go to Extreme Terrain's website, they have the Barricade instruction, then a user submitted instruction set, which is actually a better write-up. They recommend torquing your bumper bolts to like 66 foot-pounds or so, but anywhere, I say 60 to 80 pounds depending on what you have. If you did get torque specs with your bumper, probably torque it to that. But give you a shot here. You can see where it contours to it, and then I wish it was daylight, but it's not. But I believe it's going to be a good solid piece. So I've done got the install finished on this. So now all that's left is to clean up my mess. And I've got a few more projects for tonight. Probably won't video none of that. But if things go as planned, I may do a trip video of tomorrow. This will be my 3rd adventure to the local off-road park. So I figured it's time to take some footage. So I want to say thank everyone for watching. And if you enjoyed the video, go ahead and go check out some of my other stuff. This is probably going to be a pretty low quality video, to be completely honest. But, this kind of gives you an idea into what it's like working night shift. A lot of times you're working in the dark on your days off. So, again, thank everyone for watching, and we'll see you all later.